Hello and welcome to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Sprocket, West Kentucky, and KY Innovation. And welcome back to episode 258 of 10 at 10. We are so happy to have you here, and it is an even number episode, so we are looking at the news of the last few days. Some of this is going to be trends I just want to highlight over the last year, and actually, one of them is even going to be a multi-year trend that we're seeing. And then next week, we're gonna for the last Friday of the month, we're going to look ahead and see what we need to be doing and thinking about for 2026 based on what we have learned in 2025. But with that said, let me just dig into the stories. Um, and as I was alluding to, this first story is really interesting because Amazon exposes, as the article says, years long GRU. GRU is Russia's main intelligence directorate, but a multi year campaign to target energy and cloud infrastructure in the United States. So this is not something that just happened overnight. It's something that's been going on, according to this article, between 2021 and 2025. So you'll often hear me talk about the cost benefit of cybersecurity, and that we are talking about what can we do, what should we be doing to better protect ourselves and make sure that all of the things that we need to do are safe. And part of that is we're not going to spend $50 million to protect $50,000. And that's because a lot of the attacks that we're going to talk about today, or the news we're going to talk about, is about making money. Now, the GRU may be about making money, but they may have other benefits. So it may not just be monetary that they're trying to break into our energy and cloud infrastructure. So there's that nation state aspect, and that we have to keep that in mind. What is interesting about this article, that the article cites four different, actually that's not true, five different um, vulnerabilities, known vulnerabilities and exploits that they use as part of their multi-year approach to breaking into our critical infrastructure and our cloud infrastructure. Um, it is it is not something that they necessarily were targeting individuals, but if they're in our cloud infrastructure and we have stuff in the cloud, then they could do that. Now, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because we talk a lot about the quick hits, the quick wins. This, I'm going to hit you with ransomware and try to get $5,000 out of you, or the bad guys are doing these types of things. Not all of the attacks are like that. Not all of the attacks are in that realm. Some of them are much larger scale and much more complicated. With that said, there was a survey that came out that I actually thought was really interesting. Mozilla is the creator of Firefox. If you know that browser, they've been trying to figure out perceptions of privacy of users and different aspects, that what perceptions do people have. So this one had to do with privacy. 84% of users in this survey do not feel that they are in control of their online privacy. Now, this survey was in the US, it was in the UK, France, and Germany, I believe, as well. And so 84% don't feel that they're in control of their privacy. That that's a lot. Um, 36% said that they feel frustrated that these companies know too much. And maybe the thing that I'm trying to make sure I tell you the right number. Maybe the thing that I find very interesting is there was a large percent. It was less than half, but I can't find the number. But there was a percent that said it's too late. There it is. 24% of respondents said that it's too late because big tech already knows everything about me anyway. That comment, I understand. I completely understand. And I want to talk about it from two perspectives. First of all, yes, big tech knows a lot about us because we tell them a lot. We allow them to track a lot. We have not taken our privacy seriously over time. However, that doesn't mean we stop now. There's so much data about us that's continuing to be tracked. And and you know, I think about an investment. There's a thing called sunk cost. You can't you can't consider sunk cost anymore. That cost has already been used. We've already thought about it. We've already done it. It's over. What do we do going forward? How do we stop it? How do we prevent it? How do we make the most out of it going forward? Let's think about going forward. What can we do to keep ourselves a little safer in cyberspace going forward? It still matters going forward. Yes, we may have shared too much in the past, but we can always think about going forward and what we can do. So keep that in mind. Um, Another thing that, and we're going to talk about this for the rest of the articles, IRS reported a 16% surge in financial crimes in 2025. I don't want to go into a lot of that because, frankly, we've talked about that the IC3 numbers that was up in 2025. Now, for this one, this is the physical year 2025 that ended in September, but those financial crimes are up. Um, what that means now, that's payroll schemes, that's tax fraud, that's cyber related attacks. These are things that IRS tracks. The things that I'm talking about with IC3 might be outside of that. So we're not necessarily talking about apples and apples on this, but the point is that there's a lot of financial related crimes that are up. And that's because most of these attacks are looking for those quick wins. Most of these attacks are, can I trick you into doing something? Can I get you to um, change your payroll deposit, or can I get you to click a link, or can I get you to do some of these things that can help bad guys steal money from you? That's what it's trying to do. So there's a lot that's going on out there. There's a lot of tax fraud. There's a lot of payroll schemes. There's a lot of things that are going on. So definitely keep your eye out. And in particular, we talked about this over the last few weeks. We are seeing a lot. Phishing emails continue to be the most effective way to get you to do things, to get for bad guys to trick us into doing things that we don't need to. How often do we get, if you're working in the business world, it's Teams, it's Google Meet, it's Zoom, it's WebEx, but it feels like we're always on one of these calls. So getting an email for a Google Meet is not unusual, or getting an email from a Microsoft Teams link is not unusual. And bad guys now know that. They've known that for a while, but they're ramping up, and we're starting to see more and more of these things. And this one group in particular, I think Oyster Backdoor, also known as Broomstick, is targeting. This one is financial world using malicious links like Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. We see it so much that we take it for granted and we don't think about it. Related to that, and this is one that we talked about just a few weeks ago with it being Christmas time. PayPal, there are email scams saying that you have a large um, bill from PayPal, or that you have your payment is no longer active. There's a lot of these components. Click here to address it. Or it's tricking you. This is what it's trying to do. It's tricking you into or to logging into your system, logging into your account. And by doing that, you're giving that information to the bad guy to where they can go in and steal your legitimate information. Uh, there's a lot of us that use PayPal, and so it's not unusual for us to get something from PayPal, but we have to be careful to make sure that it's a legitimate. If you receive an email from PayPal, if you receive an email with a link from Teams, log into PayPal using a way that you know is true and is secure, the way that you've always logged into PayPal, the way that you always log into Teams or your Amazon account, or fill in the blank what it might be. Do it the way that you always do it, that you know is safe and secure. If the message that you received in email is legit, you'll see it there. If it's not, it won't be there. All right. That's the last news of the over the last few weeks, but the last news episode of the year. Next week, we'll talk about some things looking ahead to 2026. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let me know. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you next week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you back next week on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.